Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I have started, but the reason for it. So, for today's video I'm making mince pies, because on Instagram the other day I put, do you want mince pies, because puddings use, well, because puddings are daily, there's lots of ingredients. So today, I'm making mince pies. And ordinarily, I would make mince pies. With Christmas music on, but I can't. So for this you're going to need some butter, cold butter. You also make sure your hands are nice and cold before you start handling. If they're hot, they would just melt the butter. You're going to need plain flour, icing sugar. Well, it says golden caster sugar, but I couldn't find any of that in the shop. We just got normal caster, I need it anyway. Mince meat, but once you use your mince meat, you don't need it all. You have to put it in the fridge so it doesn't go off. So the first thing you have to do is to make the pastry, rub 225 grams of cold diced butter into 350 grams of plain flour into like breadcrumb texture. And then you should be able to squeeze it like this. Don't forget to sieve flour, ice and sugar. So it is supposed to be a wet mixture. You have to make sure your hands are clean and cold before you start. And roll your sleeves up and get in there with your hands. And then if you can see in the back, I've also got some Jacob's like trees, like little cracker things. Or just take your jumper off if you've got long sleeves on. That's what I'm tempted to do. Because when you roll your sleeves up, they end up falling back down again, so. I think I mentioned if you need an egg as well, but anyway. So you got your mixture, roll your sleeves proper up. Like proper up. Now you've got your mixture, you're going to squeeze it. You're going to add 100 grams of flour and a pinch of salt. So you might as well just use it, do it all in one bowl. So let's get this sugar open. It doesn't matter if I ruin the packet because my sugar goes in a different container anyway. I got a dinky 500. Always use your hand, there's no point getting a spoon because you can just, with your pastry, it is a wet sort of pastry. You're going to do that and you're going to squeeze it like that and then it combines it better. Squeeze your pastry out. But only once you've mixed like your sugar in, because otherwise it might not mix in very well. Now I've got loads of dough and I've got my pastry and then I've got loads of sugar in the bottom. So squeeze your sugar into the... You have to rub... So to make the pastry, rub 225 of cold diced. So that's like blocked butter, but I only had tub. It was cold. So don't like keep it out of the refrigerator. Sometimes you need to keep it out of the refrigerator. This one you want it straight from the fridge. Into 250 grams of plain flour. Then mix in 100 grams of cashew sugar and a pinch of salt. Combine the pastry into a bowl, don't add liquid and knead it briefly. But don't knead it too much or you'll knock back all the air and it won't work. So I'm going to put my scales and bowl to one side. And we're cracking on with this. So, with a lightly dusty surface, so you could always put some in a sieve and then sieve over your surface. So with bread, you need to proper knead it. Because then it's hard and you need to make sure you properly knead it for the gluten. Whereas this, you don't. If you work it too much, it might not even work. So the other day we did, for the first day of Vlogmas, we did orange and lemon shortbread. If you did make them and you're making these, the actual pastry should be the exact same. Well, not necessarily the quantities and stuff, but it should feel the same. So just combine the pastry into a ball, don't add liquid, and knead it briefly. The dough should be fairly firm, like shortbread dough, and you can use the dough immediately or chill. So you can use it immediately. Some doughs you have to chill. So add flour, but don't go like overboard and add loads and loads. I've had flour once. Probably not going to add flour again. I mean, second time. Prepare the oven. Line 18 with... So you're going to butter... You're going to butter... I'll actually put the butter back in the fridge. But you're going to butter your tin. This is the tin that it's quite an old tin, but this is the tin we always use for mince pies every year. And we need to line them with butter so then you can get them out at the end. So you need to do it on a little bit of grease-proof paper or something, and just like and with lining pins. So get your butter. Get a little bit of like grease-proof paper. Don't necessarily line all of them. Only line the ones you're going to use, because if you have some buttered ones that you don't use, then the butter will burn in the oven. So this is the thing. If you do ones that you don't use, then you end up with burnt butter in them. And the whole thing will smell like burnt. So I'm going to do 6 of my 12. I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to go with this. So now the next thing . You don't need a rolling pin for this. I don't know if I've got enough for 6, so I'm going to, because I only did half the mixture. I don't want to complicate my life by... I've actually... So I'm going to attempt using this cutter, but I think it might be too small. We'll see how we go. Don't need a rolling pin, you think slide it out with your hands. Theoretically, you stretch. Yes, this cutter's perfect. But you stretch it out to the edges. But if it's too thin, your pastry won't stretch out to the edges. But you've got to have pastry left once you've done this process. So basically put it in to your tin and then try and spread out the rest. If it's too thin, you won't have enough to stretch. That's the whole point of this. Mince pies are quite easy once you know how. I might just make 4 to begin with. I might do a big batch of these later, but for the purpose of telling you how to make them, you can make them at home. I don't need loads and loads and loads. And then, with like a teaspoon, and then with a teaspoon, because you don't want loads and loads and loads, you're going to get a spoon. Once you've used it, it has to go in the fridge. Has to go in the fridge, or it will go off. You're going to get a big spoon, and you're just going to fill, but not overfill, but fill. That'll probably tad too much, maybe slightly less for the next one. But then again, you want to make sure you have enough. You want to make sure there is enough in there. This is the point where I might preheat my oven, because I would never preheat it when it says, because I always make you do it like ridiculously early. And theoretically an oven only takes like 5 minutes to warm up. So if I don't manage to make 2 more, then I'm going to have to wipe these ones clean, or the butter will burn like I was saying earlier. So now, you're gonna, with a star cutter, that is way too thick. Right, you're gonna do a very thin star on top. You're gonna place it on top like so. I want to try and get 6 out of this, because the actual method said you could make 12. And theoretically I should make 6. Theoretically I should get 6, but I've got pastry left. I'm going to try and make 2 more. So you just need to press it down with your palm of your hand. Oh, it takes... Yeah, I can make 6 out of this. I'm not sure about making any more than 6, but I can definitely make 6. Make sure it's flat at the bottom. Oh, I've just done a star cut the wrong way around. It still worked. Like a little star one like that. I've got a set. This is the smallest one out of 5. Don't know why I didn't do 6 in the first place, but you can't re-roll it several times. Do not And I repeat, do not re-roll like several times. Because if you re-roll several times, it will not work. I would say if you're doing 12, you can probably use this whole tin jar up. Because I've done 6 and there's not much left. I might have to make one more out of it, but I'm going to go without. Because only literally that. So then now, we need some egg. Like egg glaze on top. One egg, probably with a paste palette brush. With a palette brush. With a palette brush. Brush egg over them. And then you use the icing sugar, if you didn't know already, for the after part. So there will be quite a bit of egg left over, but you can always go around the sides to give the edge a nice crisp up. Now then, they go in the oven. Next step. Bake for 20 minutes, just with icing sugar, and then keep for 3 to 4 days. Now it's going for 3 to 4 days. You need your oven on 200 degrees, it's quite high. 9 times out of 10 it's 180, but so I'll give you a quick close up. And they're ready for 20 minutes, and I'll see you in 20 minutes time. And we'll dust them and try them and see how they taste. And then biscuit things are actually very, very nice. I recommend them. And they're only £1.50 from Sainsbury's. I'll see you in 20 minutes. I have overflowed them a bit. They don't look great, but they are overflowed. So maybe if you make them, put some less mincemeat in. I've just broken one up on my plate so it cools down quicker. It doesn't look disastrous. Whether I can get them out, I don't know. That one did come out just about okay. And then I broke it up to cool down. They are overdone. So to finish them off, you can pipe icing on them if you want. And I know you're probably saying why do you go and buy a whole thing of icing sugar just to do this. But I didn't have any anyway. Don't want to run out. So with these sieves, only a little bit. Oh, that's bound to happen. That was bound to happen. That was bound to happen. Well, these ones, that one didn't have enough one. That one looks alright. He's like, yeah, because I maybe should have done it like over here rather than here. But anyway, I'll try and get these out later. So I'll put these to one side and try and get these out later. That one did take me a few minutes. So I'm going to try it and we'll rate them. Rate the mince pies. It's hot. The actual mince pie itself is actually really nice. What we've learned from this is less filling. But the actual pastry and the filling is good. Giving that a 7 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next day of Vlogmas. Thank you.